Cory, do we have any hints about what Yahoo could do with those shares?
Yahoo apparently is trying to figure it out, maybe even back to the drawing board. You know, they went to the IRS to seek preliminary approval of their plan to do what they were hoping would be a tax-free spinoff. The IRS would not grant them that. The IRS saying to Yahoo, oh, yeah, good luck with that. We're not approving this before you do it. You show us what you're going to do, and you do it, and then we're going to tell you what your taxes are. So Yahoo may be having to find a new way to do this. Now, the context of this lockup is like no other. Because the IPO was so big, a $25 billion IPO, $105 billion worth of stock becomes available for sale, or is now available for sale, and what that was not available for sale last Friday. It's a huge deal, even though some of the biggest shareholders, the CEO and chairman, Joe Tsai, Jack Ma, SoftBank, big holder, not selling. And of course, Yahoo has not announced what their plan is going to be to sell their remaining stake in their company. They're 15% of this. Nonetheless, this is a company that is seeing slowing growth as it goes forward. What we're seeing from this company, as it's done a bunch of acquisitions, they've done some peculiar moves with their use of cash, not least of which going into the market and buying back shares, even though they just went to the market to sell shares, and of course so many shares becoming available for sale right now.
Cory, let's stay with Yahoo for just a second. You know, Julie just walked us through how Yahoo has been underperforming Alibaba. Is Yahoo anything other than just a holding company for Alibaba stock right now?
You know, in terms of valuation, it is not. I mean, the value of Yahoo's business is virtually nil in the public markets if you look at how much Alibaba they hold. But the question is, of course, how much are they going to have to pay in taxes? How much of that Alibaba holding is going to go towards satisfying their gain in what, of course, is, let's be real here, was a fantastic investment gain for Yahoo. But they're trying, of course, to avoid taxes in that. And so the question of how much of that will accrue to shareholders is an open question indeed. You know, we brought up that revenue growth chart of Alibaba, which I want to take a look at again real quick, because I think this also tells you the picture that there is some sort of urgency here, because Alibaba's growth since their IPO about a year ago is slowing in spite of doing all of these acquisitions. We know the Chinese economy is slowing quite a bit. We can look at their efforts to grow internationally as still struggling for Alibaba. So this is a company that has its own struggles, as a lot of shareholders have the opportunity to sell. And then if you look at the shareholders who can sell, now I mentioned all those who can't or won't, but if you look at Silver Lake, if you look at CITIC, if you look at Broad Sino, these are all firms that went into the IPO with gigantic holdings of stock that are now available to sell that. And all of those firms sold in the IPO just a little. So whether or not they want to sell, given that the stock is down so much, is an open question. But what we know now is that they can, and that's not going to be good news for the stock. You know, quite often the end of a lockup can be allow people, everyone who's waiting to sell, and once that's flushed out of the system, the stock can sometimes rise afterwards. But in this case, so much stock is coming to market, and one of the biggest holders still is an indication of selling.
Right.
It's kind of the worst of both worlds.
So, Cory, what can be done? I mean, what are Alibaba's choices if, in fact, it does see a flood of selling like that?
Well, I mean, this is what happens. You list your shares as a public company, your investors are able to get out. That's the point of a listing. But for other shareholders in the company, they should take note of that and recognize that a lot more supply is coming to market.